Hey, friends, and welcome to the Dance Principles United podcast. Lovely Beck with a new background, new mic, new painting. Looks good. How are you, my friend?
I'm so good. Thank you, Nathan, for all my presents. I'm loving it. I feel very special with my new microphone, Amanda.
Well, if you're listening to this online, you probably need to get onto YouTube to see what it looks like because then you'll be able to see Beck's painting in real life. It's not quite as good as mine, but it is lovely.
It is not as good as yours. We were just laughing about your painting before, Amanda, saying that if the picture's too low, it says be a dick. But if the picture's high enough, it says don't be a dick. So depending on the day, you could be a dick or not be a dick.
Just depends what I'm feeling, really. So tell me, how's your week been? How is everything going in the life of Rebecca Lou Brennan?
It's been epic. It's been Easter, which has been awesome. We had our big Easter picnic on Monday at the studio, and Amanda, we had nearly 500 people come to it.
Oh, really? Oh my God, that's huge.
It was huge. I think because school holidays are not in and amongst it this year.
Mm,
I think that's one thing that made it bigger than ever. So there weren't as many people away. But the other thing is just how much effort we put into promoting it. Like I'm
yeah.
talking a flyer to every child in the studio, posters up, posts on band consistently, posts on our socials consistently for,
Emails, I'm
a good
sure.
emails. Yes, all the things. So I think
Absolutely.
that as well. And of course, the staff hyping it up.
Mm.
I think that has all had that effect, which is exciting.
How good. That sounds amazing. It was a lovely Easter weekend, wasn't it? The weather was out. It was beautiful. It was my birthday. I got to celebrate at the
Oh,
wineries, do all the fun things. But we're not here to talk about our Easter weekends. The time of listening to this, we are 10 days out of Dance Teacher Expo, which is, oh my God, so exciting. And we are going to let you know a little bit about something special we're doing at Expo at the end of this podcast. So make sure you stick around so that you can hear it at the end. But today we're actually here to talk about time management tips because it's something that, look, everyone struggles with. We've got a lot going on at the moment, and we find so many studio owners struggle with that, right?
yeah. Well, we know that studio owners are constantly busy and there is always something to do. And there's always someone at you asking you some sort of question that kind of takes you away from the path that you need to be on. I think that's really tricky, don't you, Amanda? Like I know
Absolutely.
we all feel like that in life and we feel like that at the moment, even with Expo and all the things, but it's so easy to get distracted, is probably the easiest way for me to say it.
Absolutely. And that's something that studio owners, all struggle with. There's so many balls flying up in the air. We're doing all the things. And it is really easy, to struggle with that, I guess, as a studio owner, because that's something we know studio owners don't have is time. They don't
Mhm.
have enough time in their day to, do all their marketing, to, do all their admin work, to do their teaching, to give to their families. Like, so many of us are just like, doing all the things, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then the person and the things that get neglected the most, of course, is always yourself. So,
Of
and we get
course.
that as well. So we thought we'd give you three amazing tips today, just on some really simple ways for you guys to get back a little bit of your time.
Absolutely. All right, Beck, let's hear it. What is tip number one to help our studio owners kind of get back some of their time and make, the best use of the time that they have?
Yep. So tip number one is social media scheduling, because
Oof.
what we know, yeah, but like I know this for myself, Amanda, and I'm lucky enough to have people doing my social media scheduling now for me. But
Hmm.
back in the day, I used to do it all myself, of course, and you forget because you get busy and you're running and you forget about it, and then 3 or 4 days go by, and then you're like, oh, damn it, I was meant to do that. And then you go and do a little bit, and then you forget again. And then a week goes by. And we know the problem with that is it's not consistent enough.
Absolutely. Look, social media scheduling isn't, a groundbreaking idea, but it's that thing that we all like go, oh, I'm going to do that and then never do it, right? And it's so easy as studio owners, because we're all massive perfectionists, right? to all of a sudden take way too long to do that social post or start scrolling on Instagram and get distracted instead of doing the post, which means it just takes so much time out of your day. And as you said, it also stops you being consistent with your posting.
Yep. And you can schedule your stories as well as your feed. Like you can
Absolutely.
actually schedule all the things. And it's so simple to do. Like even I can do it, Amanda. And if I can do it, I feel like anyone can do it. But it's really simple. You used to have, like back in the day, remember, you used to have apps to do it. And it was like this whole thing. But now it's
Mm.
just so simple to do through Instagram itself, right?
Yeah, well, I would recommend always going through Meta Business Suite. I don't know if that's how you would do it, Beck. Like, there's different ways to do it, right? But if you jump onto, on your computer, jump through Meta Business Suite, you can schedule everything and, just get it all done. Try and schedule a month's worth of content. In one big go. You should be able to do that in maybe like 3 hours or so. And then you don't have to think about it. As Beck said, do your stories as well. You can also still add, extra things on, ad hoc things, some stories in classes, other things that pop up, if you have some results from the weekend or a child did this or you want to reward this. But at least if you have like a really baseline scheduled, and my baseline schedule would be 3 posts a week, that would be a minimum, plus stories every single day. At least if you have that scheduled, then you don't have that stress on you. And because I know social media can feel heavy sometimes. Do you like have that feeling sometimes where it just feels really heavy?
Absolutely. I mean,
Mm.
I think it just feels like it's the last thing we want to do for a lot of studio
Absolutely.
owners, and we talk to a lot of studio owners about this, but it's the only way that you're putting yourself out there. That's the
Hmm.
thing. Because we're not doing newspapers anymore, and we shouldn't be. And it's such a different world now, and everyone's on their phone. So you want to make sure that you're doing those posts on your phone where everyone can see you.
Absolutely. So, if you are listening to this and you are still doing social media posts every day or as you go, this is your sign. Jump on, try and schedule a month in advance. Try to do 3 posts a week, so that's like scheduling 12 posts. 12 posts in, 2 to 3 hours is kind of like a recommended time for that it shouldn't take any longer. This is your sign to get that done to make your life a little bit easier. Tip 2, Beck, what is it? Let me know.
Tip number 2 is streamline your parent communication.
Oh.
I know we talk about this a lot, though, Amanda.
Mm,
And we talk about it in Studio Growth Club a lot. We talk about it in Tribe
absolutely.
a lot. I think that we need to understand how busy parents are. We're talking about how busy studio owners are. We need
Hmm.
to remember how busy parents are. You and I are perfect
Everyone.
examples of this. Perfect
Mm,
examples of the parent who
abs-
doesn't read about the soccer and doesn't know when things are happening and doesn't know there's an Easter hat parade in 2 days.
Was that you, Beck? Did you not know about the Easter hat parade?
May have made a very quick Easter hat this year, but I I do love the Easter hat parade. But I think, we are so busy. Life is crazy, and it's
Absolutely.
very easy to not read things. It's also very easy to do things last minute.
Absolutely. So, if you are a studio owner is thinking, yes, I need to streamline my parent communications to make it easier for parents, the number one thing we teach inside Studio Growth Club is we call them mini sites, and mini sites for big events that you're doing. And all that is a web page that is dynamic, meaning that it can be updated all the time, but it has all the info they need on a super simple, easy to remember URL, which, is just so much easier for parents rather than, sending one email with some info and then them having to scroll back and go and find another email that has different info on it and they're like, which one's the right one? Or you have to update the time or, the Eisteddfod changes and all of a sudden it's at different times. There's all of that going on. So we like to streamline parent communication by using these mini sites inside your studio.
Amanda, you're going to laugh at this, but I used my very own mini site today because we have an important dates on our mini site, and I
Yes.
needed to double check some dates that were coming up and make sure that, I've been asked to do a little bit of adjudicating. So I was just checking that I didn't have something on that weekend when the adjudicating's happening. And that's exactly what I mean. I didn't have to contact, my admin manager. And I know you think it's hilarious that I don't know my own dates, but I don't.
No,
So I didn't
that's
have to
fine.
contact my admin manager and say, hey, in July or whenever it was, do we have a comp on this weekend? I could just go straight to the mini site, check it, and go, nope, we don't have a comp on. I can do that. So
Easy
easy.
for you to go on your own website, not just parents, right? So easy. So, really think about how you can streamline your parent communication, keep it all in one spot for your parents is making it really, really easy. And also listen to their feedback around that. If
Mm.
you get emails constantly asking you for the same thing, um, maybe think about, hey, is there something I'm not giving them? Is there something that I'm missing in my parent communication? Because I think that's always really great to reflect back on it. And look, it's not going to take away all of your admin work. There's still going to be parents that email you going, I can't remember how to find that. But at least then the answer is all the info can be found on this site. And it's just always directing people and teaching them to go back to that site. I do recommend, giving that with a little bit of love and sometimes giving them more information that's needed, but it just makes it a bit easier, right?
Oh, absolutely. And also, like at concert time, it's amazing because
Mm,
rather than, usually, well, I used to do this, Amanda. I don't know if you did, but you'd send out an information about the hair and then an information about the costume and then an information about arrival time. So they've got 3 or 4 different emails about the one event. And that's hard for them to look through. But if that's all on one concert mini site with all of those things on it, how simple for them.
absolutely, absolutely. So really think, how can you StreamYard your StreamYard? That is the platform that we're using, not how what we're doing. How can you streamline your parent communication? I think is the most important thing, and that will help. It'll start teaching your parents. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen that you start
Mm.
training your parents, and they'll stop coming to you with questions about the upcoming Eisteddfod, the exams, the concert, what dates they're required for things. As you start to train your parents, it will start to slow your admin work in terms of that as well.
Yeah, I love how you're saying train your parents because that is
Mm,
the key. We have to constantly, when they start something new, they have to constantly be referred back to it. And I think we
absolutely.
forget about that, but that is so, so important to do consistently and get your admin team to do if you have one, is to constantly refer them back to, oh, yeah, it's on the mini site, it's on the mini site, it's on the mini site. And eventually they'll get the idea, we hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Amazing. Tip number 3, Beck, what is it, my love?
Tip number 3 is manage your time with focus hours. And I
Oh,
know this is
yes.
something that you are very, very passionate about.
I am some days, and I do my best to do it. We're not always perfect. I do my absolute best, but focus hours, focus days, time blocking. You might have heard any of these words, and they all really mean the same thing. That it is hard for our brain to jump from one thing to another thing to another thing in quick succession, because every time you change your tab on your screen, you change what you're thinking about and what kind of role you're playing in our studio, because as studio owners we all have so many roles that we do, right? Like we wear the teacher hat, we wear the studio owner hat, we wear the customer relationship hat, the admin manager, the invoicing. There's all of these hats that we wear. And every time you switch, it takes time for your brain to to adjust, I guess. So it's so much better if you can, group those projects that you have to do, and really just stay focused on them. So focus hours basically means, doing something like Mondays between 8 and 12, I am doing my financial work. I'm fixing up my invoices. I'm reconciling my payments. I'm doing my pays for my staff. And then from 12 till 3, it's my prep for the week for teaching. I'm cutting music. I'm, doing that choreo, whatever that is, all right? And, really just allowing those 2 tasks to happen. Yes, you might have emails or something that you might have to, something might sometimes come up, but generally they're the only 2 tasks. Then on Tuesday, it might be, marketing in the morning and then something else in the afternoon, whatever that works in your studio. But really putting focus hours in makes a huge difference.
Yes, what I love about this as well is we tend to not put time into the really, really important things. So,
Mm.
marketing your studio is how you're going to grow. And
Number
that's
one,
how
most
this
important.
It is, because if we're not
Mm.
telling everyone in our area the amazing things we're doing, how do they know and how are they going to come to you? But that's always the thing that we find a lot of clients put as last thing to do in their studio, because they're just constantly dealing with the clients in their studio and they're running and they're doing all the things. But that should be
Yes.
one of your priorities. If you time block it, or if you put that in there somewhere of your week and say, I'm going to prioritize this at this time, it's an absolute game changer.
Absolutely. And the really important thing about doing these focus hours is to make sure you're focused on the task at hand during that time. If marketing is something that you do for 3 hours a week, or if your own personal learning, because I do think that's really important, is to prioritize
Mm,
your own personal learning, whether
yep.
that's studio ownership and business learning, or regarding your teaching and upskilling your teaching as well, putting those things in, but not getting distracted by that email that comes through. And responding to that straight away, or the Slack message, or the text message from the teacher, or whatever that is. Like, obviously, there are sometimes things that we've got to do straight right now, but
Yep.
we're not surgeons. That email can wait for 2 hours till it has a reply. We're not dealing with a life or death situation. So use the focus mode on your computer. Use the focus mode on your computer. Use the focus mode on your computer properly, and turn off those notifications on your phone as well. And, really make sure that you are focusing on the task at hand. I like
Mm.
to also schedule in, so I schedule in my day, 15-minute or 10-minute blocks, like 3 of them, to check my emails and to check my Facebook messages. And I respond to those during those times. So I'm still replying to emails 3 times a day. Like, to be fair, that's probably overkill. It's just at the moment that's how I need to do it for Expo and the leader. But that's more than enough. And I don't need to be checking them every 2 seconds, because if you see that ping across, we've all had that, right? Like, you see it come across your computer and it's that email from a parent, and you're like, and then all of a sudden it just takes up your headspace and you can't think about anything
Yep.
else and get anything else done anymore until you get that out.
Yep. So many times I've had that happen. And
Mm,
then you go deal with that, and then that's a whole thing, and then an hour's gone, and then yeah, it's crazy. And I think it's just about us as studio owners becoming less reactive and more proactive,
absolutely.
because we're just so reactive to everything. I've got to deal with it then.
Hmm.
I've got to deal with it then. That's why it feels like you're always running. But as Amanda said, we don't have to deal with it then. It's not life or death. It's going to be okay if it waits an hour or so, and it will just allow you to actually start working on your business.
Yes, rather than running in all of those things, which I think sometimes is so easy to do. So really make
So
sure,
easy.
if you haven't done this before, it's something we work with our Studio Growth Club members with a lot, is this time blocking. We work on it. We've been working on it every term, and really like focusing on how they're going to spend their time, because it's important to spend the time doing things that are important to grow your business to the next level, not just responding to those emails and working in your business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we wanted to tell you guys today a little bit about what we do with Studio Growth Club, because we just had
Mm,
an awesome project release this week. And
absolutely.
it was for mid-year concert. And I think the game changer with what we do with our Studio Growth Club members is we do buy them time, right? That's the thing, that we buy
Absolutely.
them. And we give
Absolutely.
them, yeah, we give them like all of the tools. So maybe you need to jump in here, Amanda, but we give them their email templates, their mini site done for them,
Their
their
social
social
media
media
scheduled.
tasks.
Yeah, and like that's such a great thing, like, to talk
Mm,
about, like, in terms of how we do our project releases each month, because to be honest, we haven't really shared that a lot, and we've had 2 new Studio Growth Club members join this week, who have been like, oh, I didn't actually know what's included. And so we give them their time back. We, really believe that so many studio owners that have joined Studio Growth Club talk about that we've replaced a whole staff member. So getting back to that project release we did yesterday, what did we do for them in terms of our mid-year concert? We gave them the mini site all done for you. All they have to do is change the colors. Like, it's even their logos are already in there. They change a couple of images to be their kids. They change some dates and times. They got that done. They got all the emails written for them and the automations around the emails. They got the band posts ready to go. They had the socials all ready to go. I think it was something like 40 socials that were all ready to go inside it. They had the text messages to parents. They had the postcards all done for them to, hand out to their kids with flyers with QR codes to the mini site. They had, big posters to put around the studio. They had so many things, as well as the coaching that we offer, which is, we like to think that that's pretty great because we work so closely with them as well. But there's so much time that we buy them because that's all done for them and they don't have to do it, right?
Yeah, it makes their lives so much more simple. Not to mention also talking to their staff and how to talk to their staff, how to train their staff, how to make a successful concert with critical paths. It's,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that's why we know it's working. I mean, if you see some of the results with Studio Growth Club, it is so exponentially epic, and how much they've
Mm.
increased their student numbers, their student class placements, and their revenue is incredible. And that's how we know it's working, right?
Oh my God, I'm just so proud watching some of them do so well because we're literally replacing like a high level admin full time staff member, someone that would be, 60, 70, $80,000 a year kind of thing, and doing all the work that that person would do, which is so amazing because we can do that on scale and help all those studio owners do that, which is so, so great. Hey, should we tell them about our exclusive invite only thing at Expo?
Yes, tell them all about it, Amanda. I'm so, so pumped.
Absolutely. So if you are coming to Dance Teacher Expo, we are having a little bit of a invite only after party on the Saturday after the cocktail party. It's a chance for us to meet a few studio owners. It's just going to be super intimate. Meet a few studio owners, chat to them about their studio and let them know a little bit more about Studio Growth Club and just get to know a few studio owners a little bit better. It's an invite only event. So if you would like to be invited, we would love to have you. Please drop us a DM on Instagram and we can let you know a few more details about it. But yes, I ordered the menu today, Beck. I finalized the menu for that as well, which will be lovely and have it all ready because we're excited to meet a few more studio owners. It's so crazy at Expo, so it's so nice just to be able to meet with an intimate group of people at some point as well.
Yeah, it's going to be so awesome. And two of the members that just joined us now, Amanda, know us from the podcast. So we know there's lots of you out there who are listening to the podcast and interested in, growing the studio of your dreams and becoming a part of Studio Growth Club. And yeah, we'd absolutely love to meet you and have a champagne with you. It's what we love to do
Absolutely.
anyway.
Most definitely. So drop us a DM if you're coming and you would like an invite to that. Let us know. Drop us a DM even if you're unable to make it because we might be able to make something work on a different day as well. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this little, taster about some time management tips and what you can do to save time in your studio. Make sure you take those top 3 tips and implement them into your studio today. We cannot wait to see you in 10 days' time at Dance Teacher Expo. Oh my God, so exciting.
So exciting. Can't wait to see you guys all then. Have an amazing week, everyone. Bye.
Bye, friends.